Welcome to Calm Nation.
Black Adam, what have your powers ever given to you? Nothing but heartache.
I was a slave until I died. Then I was reborn a god. My son sacrificed his life to save me. Open fire! Now, I kneel before no one. In this world, there are heroes.
I feel the pain of my city wherever I go.
And there are villains. Heroes don't kill people. Well, I do.
My vision has shown me the future. You have two choices. You can be the destroyer of this world, or you can be its savior. That's up to you.
Behind you! Did he just catch a rocket? He caught a rocket. All black everything. You know my fresh coat.
Yeah. So obviously from that trailer, tonight we're talking about Hawkman.
Yeah.
You saw him in there for like a second, didn't you?
Yeah. Spread his wings. Spread his...
So, yeah, tonight, Hawkman. But anyway, let's start with the beginning. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thanks.
Welcome to Combination Trivia.
If you're here for the first time, welcome. If you're not here for the first time, welcome back.
Thanks for coming.
Every week we're trying to do something fun and accessible and free. So I hope you do like it and come back. If you don't like it, send us an email at combination at the.com.nation@gmail.com. But feel free to like, subscribe, follow, get the alerts, hit the button,
Put the
hit the
comments
bell
down below
button,
the video.
hit the thumb button. Yeah, all of it.
Chat with us on Facebook, Instagram, tweet. You got to tweet. We're
You
talking
gotta tweet.
Hawkman.
It's true. So, Hawkman will be showing up in the new Black Adam movie, which will be out in October. We will talk about a couple of the other folks from in the Black Adam lineup as we get closer. But yeah, we wanted to talk about Hawkman because, oh my God, Hawkman's backstory is so confusing. It might take us till October to explain it and for you to get your head around it.
We could do like every other week and probably focus on all the different incarnations. I don't know if we get them all.
Hawkman is one of DC's oldest characters, definitely one of the most confusing. I cannot think of a character who has been retconned more aggressively than he has. And that's realizing like a lot of those DC characters are like, what, 80 years old, 80, 90 years old. The fact that there's nobody more confusing than Hawkman, that's saying something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the reasons why we picked the book that we did, Hawkman the Awakening, because they did a fabulous job of like both explaining and weaving it together. We really like that.
Yes. Bringing it together.
So, which is, like I said, a bit of a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you're playing the trivia tonight, and we hope you're playing the trivia tonight,
Yeah.
you go crowd.live/VLDYM, or you scan the code, or you go to crowdper.com and you plug in the code, etc.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of rules and regulations about the trivia and about the video and everything. And frankly, go to the website, com-nation.com, and look at the instructions. For the most part, you get it.
Yeah.
But
it's multiple choice.
multiple
an
choice
answer.
is fun. We don't
You
know
don't know.
this stuff.
You might win. But
And, we're trying to have fun.
exactly.
Are you ready to have fun?
I'm ready. Let's fly.
So let's start the countdown. Which actor has never been Hawkman? Hawkman,
Hawkman.
not Hawkman. I'm saying it like it's a last name. Hawkman.
Hawkman. That's an easily man.
So Michael Shanks was Hawkman in
Legends of Tomorrow.
in Arrowverse.
Yes.
No, I got this confused. Well, so here's
No.
the fun thing. Tom Christopher has never been Hawkman, but who was Tom Christopher?
He was Hawk from Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. Second
Yes,
season with Gil Gerard, Aaron Gray, and all the rest.
he was great. I loved
Yes.
him. Falk
He had an
Henschel
awesome
has been Hawkman in the Legends thing,
Yep.
and Aldous Hodge is the one that we saw in the trailer. He's going to be playing Hawkman in the upcoming movie.
Yep.
By the way, fun fact: Aldous Hodge, who you probably know best from his work in Leverage. Do you remember his first ever movie?
He was in Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yep, when he was 9 years old, and now he's Hawkman,
Yeah.
as you do.
Yeah. And then Michael Shanks was a Hawkman back with a Adam West thing at one point, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's wrong, but you never know. It
Yeah.
could be right. It's Hawkman. We get confused.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
60,000.
Now, Hawkman was first published by The Timely was Marvel, so it's not it.
Right.
Fawcett was Shazam, but that's an equally older one, not it.
Right.
Detective, that was not it. It was All American Comics, and it was first published in 1940.
Yep.
So it was Hawkman was created by Gardner Fox and artist Dennis Neville. And Hawkman first appeared in what?
Flash Comics #1.
Flash #1.
With his buddy Jay Garrick.
Exactly,
Flash.
the original Flash.
That'd be the Flash with the cool miner's hat, the FTD guy.
Yeah. It was
Yes.
entitled Legend of Today, and Hawkman was fighting Flash and Green Arrow.
Yeah. That's the way it goes. But yeah,
As you do.
as you do.
And actually, that was part of the logic for bringing Hawkman into the Arrowverse. Anyway,
Mhm.
as we said, this was Flash Comics #1, who also introduced
That exciting character.
So here's the thing, and this is one of those fun things I love. Johnny Thunder, singular, is a comic book character who, yes, was one of the characters introduced in Flash Comics #1. Johnny Thunders, plural, more than one Thunder, is a legendary punk rock legendary punk rock guitarist. And Blackie Lawless, Buster Poindexter, and Rick Rivets are all very famous punk rock musicians from the time. But Johnny Thunder,
Yeah. Johnny Thunder was a kind of nerdy little guy that had a special phrase he could say you, that would conjure up a lightning bolt genie. And then they did a female version, and then they did a new version, and then the genie got weird, and then came back, and because it's retcons and things. But all that's easier to follow between those three different Johnny Thunders in the comics than the
Hawkman.
How many Hawkmans?
Johnny Thunder in the comics was never a punk rocker.
No.
As much as he might have wanted.
No, he was much more of a straight-laced kind of Glenn Miller kind of guy.
Yeah, although my recollection is in Kingdom Come, he was like a little fella running around in a hoodie. Am I wrong?
Yeah, that was the godson of the original one. I think his name was actually
Red Thunder
game or something like that. But yeah.
All right. So, next question. In some continuities, Hawkman is from the planet. Okay, so Dabari is the planet that Phoenix stopped to have a little snack at when she was feeling a little dark. Not that one.
Yeah, sadly, the death of all the broccoli people.
I'm sorry, the broccoli people?
That's what they refer to them as, because when you see them all right before the Nova, that's kind of what they look like.
With their sauce? Was there like ranch sauce on the broccoli people? But yes. But
yes.
Back to the question.
Yes.
He's from Thanagar.
Yes, he's Thanagar.
Yeah. And who else is from Thanagar? Has her own TV show. Naomi.
Oh, Naomi. That's right. Wow. Totally forgot that for a second. Right. Yes.
We count on you to know this stuff. Yeah. So Thanagar. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, depending on the story and the storyline, he's originally from Thanagar. Sometimes he's not. Sometimes he's fully from Thanagar. Sometimes only his dad, but his mom's an Earth person. Sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. Did we mention this backstory is a little confusing?
But only sometimes.
Now, most consistently, his secret identity, if you're saying it's Arsenio Hall, well, I can't go for that. No can do. It's also not Daryl Hall, although you might be feeling your oats. It's also not Brad Hall, most famous for Weekend Update. It is Carter Hall.
Yes. Yeah.
That's been the name or some variation he's been most consistently known as. Although there's been variations on it, as always, just to be confusing.
Yep. But when he was the Gold Age character, it was Carter Hall. So.
Yeah. But it's a good, like I said, it's a good character. He's very even, he's aware and he's embracing his chaos.
Yes.
Now, Hawkman, he's got to pay the bills. Got to get chicken feed.
Got to get the bird seed somehow.
He's got a day job.
Is he an aviarian? An actuarian?
He's not a bird watcher.
No. An ornithologist?
Yep. He's an archaeologist. Now, one of the things that, again, is rather consistent with Hawkman is sometimes he's eternal, can't be killed. Sometimes he just keeps getting reincarnated. Sometimes when he gets reincarnated, he knows who he is. Sometimes when he gets reincarnated, he doesn't know who he is.
Right. But he always seems to have a fascination with history.
Yeah. And what he knows of history, that's one of the reasons why he likes archaeology. He's like, I study history. I am history.
Yeah.
And some of the history he knows, and some of it he doesn't. Mm-hmm. And again, one of the things I like about this book is that he's someone who he meets people in history, he changes their lives, and he keeps in touch with them forever.
Yeah. As you do.
Now, Hawkman, as you probably realize, he flies.
Yeah.
What are his wings attached to?
A 6-pack of Red Bull, I think. No?
So he doesn't have arm braces, although, you know, some people do that, sort of a gliding thing. He doesn't have them on the belt, which logistically I think would be trouble. And he doesn't have them on his shoes,
No.
but the shoes are part of the, yes, wingtips. He does not have wingtips. He's got now, okay, and again, let's back this up. Traditionally, he is wearing a harness that has the wings. There are some versions of Hawkman, like I believe in the Arrowverse, or maybe it was Smallville, that where the wings were actually part of him, like the character Archangel or that kind of thing.
Yes.
But mostly this is a harness that he can strap on and that he needs to strap on to have the wings. Not always, because it's confusing, but usually.
Yes.
And to be clear, he can, in theory, take the harness off.
Yeah. Doesn't always have to hide under a big trench coat.
Now, Hawkman can fly, obviously, because of the harness. But the harness is made of what exactly?
128 pigeons scotch taped to his arms. No?
Ooh, that sounds so painful. It's nth metal, also known as ninth metal. Also known as, it's a heavy iron isotope, Fe676. I mean, this is, this stuff, oh my Lord, what does this stuff do? It negates gravity.
It can help heal you.
It can help heal you, like Hawkman has at times lost an arm or a leg, and it comes back because he's got the nth metal harness on. And the nth metal is not just on the harness, it's in his whole outfit. It is in his shoes, although there are no wings on his shoes. It's all over. It helps protect him from the elements, which is why he is able, when he's wearing his gear, he can breathe underwater. He doesn't need to wear a shirt because it protects him from the elements. I'm a little unclear, but it seems one of Hawkman's abilities, he can talk to birds because, you know, of course he can. Right. And the nth metal harness seems to allow him to have this ability. It also just causes an insane amount of body hair, which is why every picture you've ever seen of Hawkman, he's just got this hairy chest like crazy. And, you know. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. But no, he doesn't.
Helps with the aerodynamics.
Yeah, that's it. That's crazy.
It's like the way feathers flow. Yeah. No?
Okay, so Hawkman.
He's got his favorite weapon.
He's got what is that he's wielding?
His weapon of choice is...
Now, it's interesting to note, Hawkman was inspired by the Hawkmen of Flash Gordon. And the Hawkmen of Flash Gordon, they would have swords. They would have clubs. They would have spears. They would absolutely have this stuff. Sometimes it was like flaming, you know, etc. But Hawkman, all the mace all the time. You know, and the mace, the traditional mace, that, you know, thing with the ball and the spikes, boom, boom, boom.
Leather strap and where's on his wrist.
Exactly. Probably all made of nth metal, etc. But no, not pepper spray.
I don't know, because he usually lifts it out of a museum half the time. And then I think he wipes it off and puts it back at the end of the day.
But yeah, no. From the beginning, this is all he's ever. I mean, I think, you know, other folks like on Flash Gordon, they switch around a little bit, but he's always been about the mace, and this is one of the few things that they're different. But if you look at the Flash Gordon's Hawkman versus Hawkman, yeah, you see where the inspiration came from.
Yeah.
Now, on his chest, Hawkman has a symbol of something. And what is it? And here's another fun story. Originally, when he was originally designed, it was just a red button. It was just a red button. No great significance other than it was like holding the straps on his chest.
That's back when his original helmet was like this little aviator-like cap with just wings across it, as opposed to the cool-looking hawk head, too. So,
but as the years
more
went
stylish.
as the years went on, it became revealed that it was a symbol of Horus, which in Egyptian mythology is
the god with the
god of
head.
Yeah, that's Horus. And so it sort of made sense. And there is very much an element of Hawkman. There is very much an element in some Hawkman continuities that's very tied in with the Egyptian mythology.
Yep.
That he's, he, in some universes, he is in some storylines, he is a reincarnated Egyptian prince, as is your friend and mine, Black Adam. So you're starting to see maybe where the crossover on the movie comes and why it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Now, this book in particular, Hawkman, The Awakening, starts in where?
Because he's globetrotting.
Okay, it's not Kurak, because that's the Marvel Universe, although that would make sense-ish, because it is.
Middle East.
It's Greece. He's going to Greece.
Yeah. Well, you can breathe underwater, you would go to Atlantis. So.
Yeah. And he's going, but he's not only going to Greece, he's going to a very specific ruin in Greece. Mm-hmm. He's an archaeologist. That's what he does. He's going.
Explore the ancient ruins of who again?
Yeah, I'm not gonna. So he's going to the ruins of folks who are related to the Gorilla King or the Gorilla Kingdom, the Gorilla City. You remember in DC Comics, they've got that gorilla tribe, those super gorillas.
Where that guy Gorilla Grodd comes from.
Exactly. They love those gorillas at DC. And apparently in continuity, they had a tribe of gorillas that came and went to the sea and had an ancient room and had a temple in Greece, and he wants to know more about it.
So are they big giant sea monkeys?
Now he's there for a very specific reason. He's looking for something. And what he's looking for, it's supposed to help him answer some questions he's got. All of these answers, by the way, are actual shells. But he's looking specifically for the Nautilus of Revealment. And revealment is not a real word, so that's fun. And while he's there, what?
I was going to say it's a shell that helps you see.
There you go. And while he's there, originally, he thinks he's run into a guardian golem, but it's not. What is it? It's a wing oar, which, it's basically a flying monkey. It's a winged gorilla, wing oar, get it? This seems to be, by the way, fun, in case this wing oar has become a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a sea. Yes, it was a shell to sea or a seashell. Got it. But a winged gorilla, this is like the first creation of a winged gorilla who, attacks him.
Yes.
Not to be confused with the Barbados, which are
Aren't those the no? Are those the bull-like things, kind of like the minotaurs?
they're
No.
like there's a bunch of manhawks, griffins, Barbados. These are all sort of flying creatures who love to destroy and cause mayhem.
Yeah,
Kind of like
Griffin's the
Todd on
flying
Saturday
lion.
night.
Mm-hmm. Not to be confused with those flying monkeys from that other castle down the road with the green chick either. Fly, fly.
So we mentioned that Hawkman had a bunch of past lives. Which one isn't one of Hawkman's past lives? Khufu, that's the name of the Egyptian prince he was reincarnated.
Right.
Nighthawk, he was Nighthawk in the 19th century. He was Silent Night in the 6th century. He was a plague doctor in the 17th century. He was hanging out with Frankenstein in the 18th century. He was Birdman. He actually was Birdman in the 10th century. He was Prince Khufu in 1200 BC. He was leader of a bird tribe, not to be confused with when he was Birdman at some point in prehistoric times. He was Avian. He was Carter All of Krypton. He was Titanhawk. He was Airwing. He was Red Harrier. He was Goldhawk. He was Carter Hole of Lon. He was Dragon of Barbados. But mostly, he's been Carter Hall, which is why we stick with it.
Yes.
But
he's a very
Avian,
restless spirit.
Avian, not Evian, who is not a water. But he's, when people are like, Hawkman has a confusing backstory. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do believe Nighthawk was also a Marvel character. So I don't know if Nighthawk and Nightwing and Knight Rider ever hung out.
No, but there's a Nighthawk in both. The Nighthawk in Marvel is a part of Squadron Supreme. The Nighthawk in DC is a gunslinger in the Old West.
And the Night Nurse?
That's one of 3 women from the Temple of Claire.
Good night. That's all I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, and by the way, Khufu Mat Qatar of Egypt, as you do.
As you do.
So tonight, we were talking about Hawkman, specifically Hawkman, The Awakening. Official blurb goes as this: spinning out of the events of Dark Knight's Metal, an explorer of the ancient and unknown, Hawkman finds himself embroiled in a long-standing mission to discover the true purpose of his many reincarnations. Yeah. Many. Carter Hall will race around the globe trying to piece together an ancient prophecy. But will he be able to face down his past lives lurking around every corner? So this is written by Robert Venditti, who is a New York Times bestselling author, and he has he's written what? Justice League, Green Lantern, Flash, Exo Manowar, remember that, and Wrath of the Eternal Warrior for Valiant.
Yep. Ironically, is another long time through the centuries character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So obviously he had a little bit of history.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's actually written a nonfiction thing, 6 Days, inspired by the story of his uncle in D-Day. Very cool. And it was illustrated by Brian Hitch.
Yeah, he's a British comics artist and writer. Began with working for Marvel UK, working on Action Force and Death Head, and then came to America and worked on Wildstorm, Stormwatch, and the Authority, and JLA, and even Marvel Comics: The Ultimates, which is a major inspiration for those Avengers movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very lovely artwork as well.
So tonight's winner is JJ, because of course it is.
Of course it is. Nice job.
And next week,
Mhm.
we're going to be doing Clear, the Comixology original,
Yes.
which is a little bit of a noir thing. We're looking forward to talking to you about it. Hopefully you're looking forward to talking to us about it. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the follow, hit the button, hit your screen, hit the bottle.
Send some emails. Tell us what you think, what you like, what you don't like.
Yeah, exactly. We
Tell
like,
us what you're reading.
Tell us what you're reading. Tell us what you're liking. Tell us what you're curious about it. And tell us how we can make your day better or Hawkman less confusing.
Yes. Because we're all comic fans, birds of a feather, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'm just winging it now, you know.
The jokes don't get better, people. They don't. They really, really don't. But we don't sing.
No. I think it's time to fly the coop.
Okay.
Okay. Say goodnight, Gracie.
All right. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.